So I'm just going to answer a few questions about team UTR pages. The first one is just what should appear on a team's UTR page. So I'm going to go ahead and just search up my team. Click on it. And when that loads up, when you are on your team page, you should be able to see these options up here. Create events, add players, post scores, etc. Just keep in mind, again, as always, we only want to use the create event button. If we use post scores, then our scores won't be verified. They won't count toward a player's rating. So make sure you hit create event. When you scroll down, you'll notice we're on overview. So you can see your team's standings so far. It'll list some of your roster. You'll have a button right here that says see full roster. So that can show you everybody on your team. You can also switch to the roster tab for the same effect. You'll have your coaches listed over on the right side. You can change your coaches there, and you can, up at the top here, add providers, which will allow you to add coaches or captains to your page. Scrolling down a little bit more, you can see upcoming team events, which just refers to events that haven't ended yet, but that have been created. And then if you scroll down further, you can see past events. So this was a preseason match that was entered earlier in the season. You can edit previous duel matches where you play other teams. So if you see a case where maybe something like this event hasn't happened yet, but if you see an event where you have a 0-0 score, maybe a match got published but results weren't entered in it. If you just click on the event that your school's involved with or your team is involved with, you should see a spot up here where you can then edit. But I'll go back for a sec because that's really the third question. So again, if we go to roster, we should be able to see our entire roster. That'll tell you everyone who's on your team who's gotten signed up. Okay. And schedule, that's if you put in matches ahead of time, if you create the events ahead of time, and results just shows previous results played by people in your or on your team that have been entered. Okay, so second question. Should I answer yes or no when I'm asked if a dual match should be grouped in my standings? So if we go back to the team overview here, we can see that you've got league record and overall record. So all the this question right here is referring to when we create an event, we get asked if we should group it in our standings. So I'm going to just create an event and I'll show that question up here. So we'll hit create an event, tennis, official, and since this is a regular team match, we're going to go ahead and click dual match. I'll search for another high school here. There we go. And I can see I have this question here. Should this dual match be grouped in your standings? So generally, you're going to hit yes to this if it is an in-division match. So if you are playing in Class A North and you're playing against another Class A North team, then you would hit yes. Similarly, if you're in C South and you play another C South team, you would hit yes. This doesn't really hugely matter whether we hit yes or no. The individual match scores will still count toward UTR the same regardless. The only thing it affects is when we go back. Any matches where you hit yes will be listed under league record, and all matches are listed under overall record. So looking at this match earlier from this season for my team. This is a preseason match, and it was a match against a team or two teams not in the same division. So we said no to grouping them together, so we can see it doesn't affect the league record, but it does affect the overall record. Last question, how do I publish a dual match, edit a dual match, and search for a dual match? So just, again, going back to where we were before, I can hit, create an event, official, go down to dual match, search for opponent, and then this is a team. I'm going to decide if I want it grouped. This team is not in my school's division, so we'll go ahead and hit no. Okay, and it gives us a nice little explanation here too. So either team, if they say no, they don't get grouped in the standings together. So say got it. All right, I'll set my date and time here. We'll go. Okay. And this right here, use my last event as a template. Sometimes there are extra singles matches beyond the 3 and extra doubles matches beyond the 2. So if you delete them, delete the extras for one of your matches, and then click this check every time you make a dual match, then those extra ones won't be there every time. So we'll go ahead and hit create. Okay. This match hasn't happened yet, so I won't fill out any scores, but I can just change my team score here, check off who won, and then enter my individual players and scores here. Again, I only have 3 singles, so I can just go ahead and clear these out along the bottom. Just like that. I only have 2 doubles, and you can, and I would encourage coaches to enter their exhibition matches as well. So I can publish the events at any time. All that does is make the event visible to other people and the other coach or coaches. So in this case, if I publish this, then the coach at Mount Blue High School will be notified that an event has been added. So I can publish it just like that. Okay, I haven't entered any matches yet because it hasn't happened, but I can still publish it. So now it's published. And if I go back to my team page, so that covers publishing it. Now when the actual lights turn off. Now when I go back to actually play the match, right, I go in to enter my scores. I can just go to my team page, go to the overview, scroll down. There it is right there. I can click on it. I can also go to my schedule. I can scroll down. Either way, if I click on it and then hit edit right up here, it just brings me back. And it says, okay, the event must be published again for scores to be visible and count for ratings. So all I would do is go through day of, add my scores, and publish. Now, the nice thing is you don't have to create the event before the match actually happens. If you want to wait, specifically for just team matches. So if you want to wait until the day of the match or the day after the match, you'll still be able to create an event for the correct date. Nothing wrong with that. So we'll republish that. And if you want to search for an event that's already been published, let's say I want to look for that Waterville versus Mount Blue match, I can type in either team's name up here. And there it is right there. It's the first result. I can also go to either team's page here. So if I go to Waterville's page. We can see there it is. I can go to Mount Blue's page. And I can see the event right there as well. And we'll click here. And it's listed on their page as well. So if one coach lists a dual match and publishes it, both coaches can see it, both coaches can edit it, and should be good to go from there. All right, hope that was helpful.